Okay, thanks for coming. If we'll take a scan of our audience. Maya. Okay, we just had a delicious dinner. That was good. So we're just enjoying our night, and tonight we're going to talk about a psalm. And in specific, we're just going to talk about a couple of verses. But just to give you some context about the psalms, most of the psalms were written by King David. King David was described as a man after God's own heart. And we see in the Psalms is just a real guy, a real man talking about pouring out his heart about everyday issues. So you see thanksgivings, you see praises, you see laments, the troubles that he goes through. You see a real man who is in relationship with God and what that's like on a day-to-day basis. We also see the theme that God is with the righteous man. And in specific, these couple of verses are about a righteous man and his relationship with the Lord. And just to clarify, like a righteous person isn't someone who's perfect. Oftentimes we can think that, but it's not somebody who's perfect to say, but somebody who is in right relationship with God through faith in what He has done for him. So in faith, through what Christ has done. So that is what we mean by righteous. It is somebody's relationship, in right relationship with God, through what He's done for him. Okay? So we're just going to talk a little bit, a couple verses, and just to ask you guys, throw this question out on the table. What about your future do you worry about today? So that's something to be thinking about through the speech, is just what about the future? Maybe it's decisions that you have to make, maybe it's where you'll be, who you'll be with, just whatever you're worried about. If you can have food on the table, etc. Maybe if there's going to be a war, who knows. But what do you worry about the future that affects you today? So let's go ahead and look at that. And also, what if you knew something about God in relationship with you that would affect those worries? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to turn to Psalm 37, and I'll read to you verses 23 and 24. The steps of a man are established by the Lord, and He delights in his way. When he falls, he will not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that your way is secure. Your way is secure. The steps of a man are established by the Lord. Established. This word means secure, firm. It is a knowing that the Lord has established is something that's secure. It's you know that this is permanent. It's something that He has done for you. So that's the first thing we need to know about our future and our way, is that the Lord has established it already. So I just want you to think about that for a second, that He has established that. He's established the steps that you've taken already, and that you get to just be a part of that, a part of living out that, His story in your life. We go down and reread again, and He delights in His way. We all want to be approved of. We want people to be pleased with us. How much more do we want God of the universe, the one who has created us, to be pleased with us? We've often asked, what do we need to do that He'll be pleased with us? What do we need to do? I know I have asked that question before. But it says here that He delights in His way. Another word is pleased. So God is actually pleased with the way of the righteous person. And what's nice is that the Lord has also established His way already. So you think, okay, well, if He's pleased with my way, does it have to be a specific way? It's like, well, He's already established that. So that gets even better. First of all, okay, my way is secure. Second of all, it's approved of. the way that God has for me is He's pleased with it. So in that context, knowing those two things, what happens to your worries when you think about the future? If you look at the future and think, my way is established by the Lord, and He's delighted in it already, what happens to those worries? Okay, so we're going to take it even a step deeper. You see in the next verse, it says, when he falls, he will not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand. Okay, so another fear we have, another worry may be that we're going to fail, right? So we know our way is established, and He delights in it, but what if we mess it up? What if something happens and we fail, and we somehow get sidetracked? We miss it. We miss His way, right? Well, God has already taken that into the equation. He says, when he falls. So He says, already, you're going to fall. You're going to do something to make a mistake, and He's already considering that. Okay, so He's considering that, but we know that where sin is, grace abounds. And to somebody who has been forgiven much, they're able to love much. Okay, so then we don't really have to fear. We don't have to fear that we're going to fail. So our way is established. Our future is established. He delights in it. He delights in the plans that He has for us. And we don't have to fear failure, because He already knows we're going to fall. Okay? And now let's take it to the next level. And lastly, why is this? Why do we not have to be afraid of failure? Why don't we have to worry? And we read here, it says, because the Lord is the one who holds His hand. So our way is established. He delights in it. He's pleased. He's happy with us when we're in right relationship with Him and when we're living in communion with Him. And we don't have to be afraid when we fall, because He's holding our hand. So just think about that too. That, when you see a couple holding hands when they're walking down the street, some things that come to mind are probably, wow, they really care about each other, or they're going to be there for each other. They're letting each other know to everybody else around them that this is a person that they care about and they're going to stand beside. Okay, and we know that this is love, and we look at that and think, wow. And thinking about if they have somebody to walk through life, being able to have a person that they can hold hands with through life, we know what kind of security that brings. Because even when times get rough, even when bad things may happen, they have a person they're holding their hands and watching their step, right? Now, how much more God of the universe, who is love, is there holding your hand. So He's saying, I care about you. I'm going to support you when you fall. I'll be there for you. And He's showing all the people around that, hey, this is my person. This is my man. I'm going to be there for this person. So now we revisit that question. When we look at our future, what do we worry about presently about our future? And now I want you to think about that question and those worries that we may have, and think about your future when you're holding hands with the God of the universe through it. Your way is established. He delights in it. You don't have to be afraid of falling, because He's holding your hand. So that's just what I want to leave with you guys off with today. And that's all.